Hello, good evening. It's January the 1st, 2024, and let's wish everybody a happy new year. Hope you had a great Christmas and brought in the new year in style. I certainly did, let's say. But now I'm here and making another railway video. Now I'm going to cover some of the things which I got for Christmas. I'm going to have a little bit of fun on the railway today, okay? A little bit of fun. We're going to have a look at one or two of my presents, as we say. And the first present I'd like to show you, this is very much of a Christmas past, this one. Steam train whistle, if you can see that. Steam train whistle, okay. And very promising on the box. Amazes and amuses all who hear. This chuffed steam train whistle produces a tuneful two-tone sound, just like the real thing, made from fully renewable wood. No train set should be without one. I fully agree. Let's have a look. How about that then? Okay, so now another little present. This was from over this Christmas period. It's a adult conductor hat. Fares please. Okay, how about that then? Okay, so here we go. We're ready to run the railway tonight. Okay, so without any further ado, let's turn the camera around. Oh, another thing I need to show you as well, just to say that I'm up to date. This will be the calendar which was kindly bought for me. Britain by rail. I don't know if you can see that. There we go, that's better. Britain by rail. That's depicting the Cornish Riviera Express on the front of there. Cornish Riviera Express. So us Great Western fans delighted to see that. Look at that beautiful picture on there. And then inside, the calendar full of railway posters. So January is going to be showing King's Lynn, a treasury of medieval architecture. King's Lynn, January. So let's put that up so we know where we are now. I'll be checking down my old calendar shortly. So that's January 2024 up there now. Now another present I had over the Christmas was this mug. Now this mug was custom made by my brother Ian. Thank you very much, Ian. What they basically did, he was at a workshop where they were making tea mugs, and they had various transfers which they could apply to the mug before being glazed. And so we've got such things as the Britannia 462 Oliver Cromwell on the mug, Stanley Pacific 462 Carnation Scott Service. So that's what the mug looks like there. Okay, and Carnation Scott, there we are. How about that then? How about that? Lovely. And inside, various train designs as well. Okay, inside we got Mallard, all sorts of delights inside. Just put that to one side. And tonight the mug of the night is, this one I was given to me when I retired from my profession 6 years ago, when I was 60. I'm retired, now go and ask somebody else. Now, here we go. Another present. I would guess this was probably bought second hand from somewhere. Probably made by Hornby, looks like probably from about the 1980s, our 014 Esso tank wagon. R104 Esso tank wagon. Okay, and that's forming the rear part of my train, which we'll be seeing quite shortly. And without any further ado, so I'm looking away, we'll be getting underway in just a few moments. So I'll turn the camera around and you'll see the trains running, okay? And once again, here we go. No layout should be without one. There you go. Right, I'll see you in a few moments. Now the train you're about to see coming round the signal box there is Cattewater, that's the name of the locomotive, and it's pulling 4 Esso tankers, and the rearmost tanker is the one I had over given to me for Christmas. Okay, and it was in need of a slight repair on it, and I'll show you. I'm halfway into that repair now. It's one of those where there's a question of being very patient, waiting for the glue to dry. But I'll show you that at another time. It's a little bit shorter than the other wagons. The foremost 3, we'll just get to that in a minute. I'll show you what we've got running on the track. And the front 3 wagons, tankers, might be still available because I bought these off from Amazon. Are 60037 20-ton tanker Esso number 1809, I believe. There we go. And then just a recap, in the much older style box, Hornby Railways, R104 Esso tank wagon. There we go, lovely. So thank you very much, Matthew. Well, thanks to Matthew, my nephew, for the tanker wagon, and to my nephew Peter for the guard's hat. I just watch this train go around now. Like I say, this is my first running session of 2024. Like I say, I thought just to begin I'd have just a little bit of fun. And my choice of locomotives tonight, a little bit varied really, because this is the diesel shunter. But this one goes with this. Cattewater apparently was used, a dock called Cattewater, a place called Cattewater, so I believe it was in Plymouth, and it was a bitumen terminal. I was assured by some Devonians that in fact Cattewater is in fact the way to pronounce it. And this gives me an opportunity really to show you what an 04 locomotive can be capable of. Now remember, these my track isn't the best laid track, and is managing to go over the point without too much difficulty, even though it's got a relatively small wheelbase. I believe that these are another one of these is the Hitachi livery one, is on offer at the moment in the on the Hornby website. I think they took the price of this one down. I think I paid £50 for this one second hand, which I think was the price of what they were when they came out quite a few years ago when they were new. I quite liked this locomotive and they were a go really. Now a possible suggestion for you, just in case you get this problem. I mean, I've got a level crossing here. If any of our locomotives go clonk as they go over the crossing, or just come to a dead stop, it's possible that the front couplings drop down. In fact, that's what happened on mine. In fact, the coupling hook was digging into the crossing, so I've had to reseat the coupling hook. So it's one of those NEM couplings, I believe. And that's held on very nice. This one comes with some accessories. I mean, it comes with special covers in case you wish to remove the couplings, and then they go onto the buffers. Really, so you can put this into an exhibition cabinet if you wanted. Very nice little locomotive there. So I'm quite pleased with it. A little bit more tricky to remove the body. But it can be done, as long as you're careful. Okay, so we're going to run this one into the siding in just a few moments' time. We'll let it have a little run first of all. We've got plenty to see tonight on my layout. I was, at some point, I'm probably going to be doing a recap of everything I bought this year, or last year, let's say, in 2023, and we'll go over that probably sometime next week. Give me a chance to gather everything together, look through eBay and Amazon and see what I've been buying. This one was with an eBay, this one was from somebody selling on eBay, and it was not used. So it's literally a brand new locomotive in the box, because the person bought the locomotive, put it into a cupboard, and then decided to go with Engage. So that decision, I thought about going down to Engage on many an occasion, but I think really for me, the magnificence of a 00 locomotive, and you'll see that in just a moment. It's worth it. I think it's worth cramming the larger locomotives and carriages even onto a small layout like this one. Right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to look across to the junction in a moment, and we'll watch this one going in over the junction there. See how we handle points. So let's get the signalman to change the points. And this is a right hand point going into a left hand point. So let's see how we go. There we go, into the good shed quite well there. That's perfect. Okie doke, so we can see it in the good shed over there now, Cattewater. Complete with the 4 Esso tankers. A little bit of a difference, and we'll go over the differences really. You probably saw it as we're going round. I mean, probably the main difference is the older model is shorter. It's got red frames all the way up, and also it's got a ladder on the side. The ladder, in fact, on the one I've just had second hand, is actually managed to get broken somehow. I'm halfway through gluing that. A little bit of patience, and I'll have that as good as new. So won't worry about that one too much. Now we're going to be moving on to this next locomotive, and it's in fact one of the purchases from 2023. It's a locomotive I was hankering after for some considerable time. And we just get the find the box. Well, you'll have to forgive me. It's like right, it's a bit like Box City over here tonight. Okay, R3124 BR280T class 42XX 4266. So 4200 class from, and it's by Hornby. And in fact tonight all of the locomotives you'll be seeing will be from Hornby. You'll see that properly go in focus. Yeah, there we go, we are in focus. Okay. Now there is, as far as I'm aware, still one of these on the East Somerset Railway. I think it's undergoing overhaul, or will be undergoing engineering works or overhaul. I mistook this for a prairie tank without counting the wheels. It was my fault. I mean, it looks nothing like one really. But when I saw it one of these in real life, that's what I mistook it for, until I realised it had 8 wheels. 8 driving wheels, that is. Now these were mainly used for the Welsh coalfields. Especially designed for that. See this one come round now. It's a very, very good runner. The locomotive did come under, the actual model itself did come under a little bit of criticism from some reviewers, because they don't have things like sprung buffers on it. But I mean, really for me, I mean, yes, sprung buffers, yes, it signifies maybe the manufacturer's gone the extra mile perhaps, but they're not essential. I call them sprung buffers are nice to have rather than something that's absolutely essential. This particular model is a lovely runner. It's in early BR livery, BR black of course, and it's got the early crest, New Cycling Lion. And in fact it's putting one coach, and the only reason it's doing that is because of the length of the siding. That would normally accommodate something like a 14XX and an auto coach, or maybe a rail car, or a diesel multiple unit. That little branch line siding there. I can't resist it. Here we go. Just wait for this to come round. There we go. Right. Okay. Lovely locomotive. I say, I hope all of you had nice things for Christmas and had a good Christmas. And I know I certainly did, visiting family and friends and things. Driving backwards and forwards, either collecting or giving presents. The coach that this one is putting is a BR Mark 1 coach, BR Mark 1 brake coach. Which I believe are from the early 1950s, the BR Mark 1 coaches. And where this one would be more likely to be seen putting a passenger service, will probably be more likely on a preserve railway nowadays. I say really, these were meant for the coalfields of South Wales. In fact, the Great Western Railway took over a lot of the smaller independent Welsh railways in 1923 under the grouping, and they had to design new locomotives for use in those coalfields. Steeply graded and curved track. These had a very, very small coal capacity because they were only supposed to cover short distances between the pits and the ports. There were bigger versions. I think the 52XX, they're following the 72XX. It's a model I'm looking at getting, possibly. The main difference is that they've got a bigger coal bunker on. So it's a 280 tank engine. We've got 2 leading wheels, 8 driving wheels and no training wheels. I believe the 72XX had a set of training wheels. To accommodate that bigger coal bunker. Oh, anyway, we just become did we just become separated? A bit like on the Tickford Thunderbolt, isn't it? If you remember watching that, they were they had the replica of Lion, didn't they? And there was putting the carriage by a piece of rope, and the rope come undone. Quick, they're just running down the village to get a chain. Here we go. So here they go again. Off they go. Yeah. So this can often happen with with a lot of locomotives where the couplings are not the same. In fact, this one they are. So it may have been that they just wasn't properly hooked on. These are both small NEM type couplings on here. I don't think we'll have any more trouble. Now we're going to be putting into the station in a minute. Pardon me. And then we'll move on to a couple more locomotives. Now certainly at least one of these locomotives were bought there in 2023. Just watch this one go round a moment. I just want to check something out. Bear with me just a few moments, see if I can find out for you. Right, so I bought Caerphilly Castle, which you're about to see quite shortly. I bought that in September of 2023. Early in the month I bought a liqueur scale anti-manner, and if you saw my previous videos, that one had to go back, and it went back because it was an eBay purchase. It went back for a refund. I would have probably accepted an exchange if it had been directly from liqueur scale, but there we go. Then my 42 XX was in August. What did I buy there? Let's just check. Yeah, the 42 XX was in August. I bought a modified haul in July. An ROD 280 in the 16th of July. Standard 5MT in June. You'll get to see all these locomotives later. Robin Hood in May. Pretty Polly in April. Carnation Clash in April. Alima King in March. In March I bought Rudash and Hall. Yeah, so I think I bought Lodestar in 2022. The thing is that the years fly by, don't they, and you get mixed up with things. And I certainly bought Caerphilly Castle in 2023. So let's pull this one into the station now, and we'll move on to the next locomotive. So you'll see how this one is over points. Lots of pickups and everything. And of course pulling this one coach, effortless. And through it goes over my nightmare junction, which is the left hand point into a left hand point. Okay. Now the next locomotive we're going to see is going to be Lodestar. Spelled L-O-D-E, and it's part of the National Collection, and in fact that's what it says on the box. It all commemorates the National Collection. So we'll get this one out of the station. We'll see how this one runs. Now both Lodestar and Caerphilly Castle, which we see down in front of you now, there we go, Lodestar and Caerphilly Castle, are examples of locomotives that for me were perfect out of the box. I had no trouble whatsoever with either of these locomotives. No defects, no bits missing, and they both ran. And this is the thing, I mean, Hornby quite rightly have had a bad press in some instances with some of their locomotives, but when they get it right, boy do they get it right. Okay, so up we go there, past the signal box there. As you see, it handled the points quite well there. I'm going to move my mugs out of the way a little bit, perhaps. We'll see. And we'll have a look at the fantastic Lodestar. And it's putting 3 Caerphilly coaches. They were previous coaches to the ones you can see behind Caerphilly Castle. And they were gas lit, and that's the reason they had little small windows up at the top of the roof. There we go, perfect. I'd say a beautiful run of this one. The Lodestar, the Star Class locomotives, they were designed by Hawks, I'm going to mix up Churchward. Sorry, I nearly got mixed up then. Churchward, George Jackson Churchward. He was a chief mechanical engineer up until 1922. I think it was 1902 to 1922. His predecessor was Dean, and Dean was involved in the design of the coaches, the Caerphilly coaches. And in fact, these coaches go well with the single wheelers like Lord of the Isles, or the one that I've bought is, I will show again because I've not shown it for ages, but I'll put Lord of Doom out for you one day. But this is Lode Star. I'd say it came out perfectly out of the box. I had no issues with this one whatsoever. Got a fully detailed cab. And we can imagine this one whizzing its way, from, say for example, from Paddington along the Somerset levels, perhaps through Taunton, if it's gone through Bristol first. There were two routes from London. There's also the avoiding route, which I think goes along by Westbury, doesn't it? In fact, because of the Great Western Railway originally, it was from London to Bristol, okay, and then it went on from via the Bristol Exeter Railway further south. It was originally called by some detractors the Great Way Round. That was in fact actually done away with when the Great Western Railway brought in the avoiding route. Imagine this one whizzing its way down, and maybe whizzing its way down along the seawall at Dawlish on its way to one of our seaside resorts. These were developed further into the Castle class and ultimately the King class. It's a 4-cylinder locomotive, and they serve themselves. They serve the Great Western Railway very, very well. Now, so, for those of you who have not seen my video before of Caerphilly Castle, my previous video, we'll have a little look and see what we have here. It's still in the Hornby catalogue and it's on the Hornby website, or 30328, GWR Castle Class 460, Caerphilly Castle, number 4073. That's what we're going round. That's what we're going round next. Sorry, I'm getting my boxes mixed up. That's what we're going round next. Sorry, and the one we're looking at now. Well, it's a bit warm in this room. I think my head's melting. Let's have a look and see now. Well, the one you can see going round now, in fact, is R3864 GWR Star Class 460 Lode Star number 4003. That's the locomotive you can see going round now. Railway Museum. Livery on the box, and then Caerphilly Castle, the previous box I showed you, is a locomotive we're about to see running quite shortly. Yeah, it's getting quite warm up here. I've got the radiator's not on behind me, but it's back to the hospital I've felt for days. Now, for the sake of the length of the video, I'm going to be bringing this locomotive into the station. You can see how well this one goes over points. So, to recap it once again, because I got the boxes mixed up a moment ago, this is Lode Star R3864. And when you see the trains more or less side by side, you'll see the differences between the Caerphilly coaches and the later coaches, which I believe were GWR College coaches. Right, so into the station we come. Nice pulling away. Over the points very, very nicely. There we go. And then into the station we go now. and then we can see the Star class here and the Castle class here. Right, so now we're going to see the Castle class, Caerphilly Castle, one of my more recent purchases. Oh, my very final purchase of the year was an Adams radial tank, which that was my previous video, wasn't it? So I'll refer you back to that one if you want to see the Adams radial tank. Now, for those of you who are fans of the Southern, I'm going to be doing a bumper Southern. In fact, I'm going to be covering all of the big four in my forthcoming videos. I've got enough locomotives now, and probably enough rolling stock to put together a relatively convincing looking train. Now, this is a development of the Star class, the Castle class, designed by Charles Benjamin Collett, who I believe was the chief mechanical engineer from 1923 to 1941. So he actually retired in the height of the Second World War, succeeded by Hawksworth, who was the very last chief mechanical engineer of the Great Western Railway before the railways were nationalised. Now again, this is another model which was absolutely perfect for the box. Like I say, when Hornby do get it right, they get it right, and boy did they get it right with this one, in my opinion. Now, I will give you a tip, okay, in a moment, that's why this one's going round. I believe Caerphilly Castle was the first of its class, okay. And some castles were made up out of rebuilt stars. But I think this was the first one built completely from scratch. All of these locomotives, I believe, were built in the Swindon Works, the main railway works for the Great Western Railway. And the Castle class was very much more numerous than the King's. The King was the most powerful of the Great Western Railway steam locomotives, but the King was restricted by its weight. In fact, a lot of the structure had to be changed or redesignated so that the King's could run. So these castles had really the good route availability as opposed to the King's. Very nice. Now, the castles and the Kings were finally replaced by dieselisation in the late 1950s into about 1965, when in fact all of the Great Western steam engines, or Western Region of British Rail, their engines were in fact withdrawn, and the only locomotive left running on the Western Region was on the Somerset and Dorset, which the Western Region had taken control of. It was planned to close out in the end of 1965, but they had to go on to March 1966 running steam. So in fact, steam on the Western Region of British Rail did go on a little bit longer than planned. Here we can see the magnificent castle, Caerphilly Castle. This locomotive really proved to be really powerful in comparison to many other locomotives. In fact, it was said to be the most powerful locomotive. They were then trumped by the Lord Nelson class, and then the Great Western Railway won the crown badge with the King class. And then the only large locomotive really designed and really launched in great numbers But there were some castles still built up until 1950, but then there was Hawkesworth County class as well, which was basically a two-cylinder locomotive. And they would have been the last of the large express locomotives or mixed traffic locomotives built for the Great Western Railway. This is an express passenger. Now I'm sorry there's a slight lack of continuity here. In fact my camera went over the recording time of 30 minutes. This camera is limited by that. My fault, I didn't look out for it. Too busy chatting. Now this is probably going to be the last final few seconds of this video before I say farewell. Okay, so obviously this locomotive is one which is in the Hornby catalogue still now. At least it was in the 2023 catalogue, and it's still available online. Okay, and it's Caerphilly Castle. Very, very nice locomotive. I say I can only go on my own personal experience, as any person could really, and I can tell you which bit ones had bits falling off. I was going to give a bit of a tip actually about the Star class over here. Okay, now as far as I'm aware, Lode Star, this one is fine. Okay, there was an earlier version called British Monarch. Okay, I would not buy British Monarch unless you're getting it fairly cheap. Okay, I mean, I certainly had two damaged ones receiving the post. And one was severely damaged, Star class British Monarch, and then the second one I had just one piece had fallen off, so I just glued back on again, to be honest. So I'm going to send it back over. I was to glue one piece back on. But wearing with them, with the British Monarch, they weren't packaged very well, and bits came off, certainly off the back of the tender, the steps, and my British Monarch lost his cab rails and a few other detail pieces as well. Well, the smoke box start came off. This model is absolutely perfect. Okay, but when you buy a new Hornby locomotive, watch out for this. And I'll show you this in just a moment. And you probably think it's insignificant. You think, well, what am I showing him this for? What is he showing you this for? Okay, let's have a little look. Alright. I'll with you a moment. Well, I'll leave it for now. But what there is, there's a little block of foam which Hornby have put between the tender and the locomotive. Okay, and you need to watch out for that. You need to remove that before you run the locomotive, or you'll have a derailment. Okay, and remember to take that out. Even though yes, it can cause a problem with running, if you don't remove it, it did help protect the locomotive a lot better. So to recap, my experience, British Monarch was damaged. Sam's trains, he had a damaged one. I had two. And so I would say, unless they're going cheap and you're pretty good with glue, I wouldn't go. I would go for this one instead of British Monarch. Okay, if that should ever become available. This one was absolutely faultless out of the box. Okay. Now, without any further ado, I should say, if you like what you see, please press that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to be made aware of further videos. And I say thank you very, very much for watching, and goodbye.